Hello, my loves. I hope you can see me. I have no idea why Facebook wouldn't allow me to go live on my computer, so I will be going live on my phone today. So that's exciting. I hope you guys can see this. Today, what I wanted to do is talk about something called the healing habits of mind. And it looks like I can see people commenting while I'm talking. Okay, well, that's new. That's not something I can do on the computer. So let me back up. My name is Casandramacalan, and I am a spiritual intuitive healer and body-mind transformation coach. And I help people with trauma, pain, and anxiety to heal from their long-standing beliefs so that they can embody their healthiest life and happiest self. And I run programs and I do coaching and counseling online. So today I'm going to talk about the healing habits that I have acquired over my life that I have used to heal from a couple of different autoimmune diseases and a lot of pretty significant trauma, especially in childhood. So these are some of the things that I do, and just offering them to you as thoughts and suggestions for some things you might want to try. So first, before I even open my eyes in the morning, I plan my manifestations for the day. So today they were that I love being healthy in body and mind. I'm open and allowing for abundance. I have everything I need and things are always working out for me. And I am confident and excited for this new change in my daughter's life. So every day they change, and it's really kind of dependent on what are the first thoughts that come to my mind in the morning. And again, this is as soon as my consciousness brings me awake before my eyes are even opened. And the important trick of manifestations is to make them present focused, because you don't necessarily want to just manifest something to happen someday. You also don't want to use a negative. So you wouldn't say, for instance, I'm grateful to not be in pain. Also, you want to make them something that you actually believe in. If you don't feel it, then they're just words. And honestly, saying things that you want but don't believe you can have kind of is pointless and will even be frustrating. So make sure that they're words that you can actually believe in as you're saying them. Again, and that they're present focused, there's no negatives, and that you are in the moment bringing that into your life. As an example, I have had some back pain for the past several days that I know is connected to some fear that I have for someone that I love, that I have not been able to release yet. And so even though I knew that I had pain still before I opened my eyes and that my back hurt, I could still honestly say, I love being healthy, because it's true, I do. And it again opens that manifestation pathway for more of what I love and what I believe I can have. The other thing I want to say about manifestations is you need to remember that they take time and they aren't easy. And the reason is because when we're manifesting, we're only using the 5 to 10% of our brain that is our conscious mind. So the 90 to 95% that is our unconscious mind is still programmed with all the fears and the drama that chatter at us all day long. That whole monkey mind that is always reminding you of everything you really should be worried about. So because 95 or 90 to 95% is doing that, we really have to be very specific, very focused, very intentional, and feel our manifestations when we're making them. So the next thing I do is I immediately meditate until my alarm goes off. So if I'm already awake, then I will just meditate until it's time for me to wake up. Or if my alarm's already gone off, then I'll hit a snooze button that gives me, 10 to 15 minutes, and I'll use that time for morning meditation. And the reason that I do this, even before I've really actually become fully conscious, is it takes advantage of the fact that I have released the momentum that I have built up from the previous day by sleeping. So my mind is clear, and that gives me a clearer connection to my inner being. And it's also easier if you, like I, struggle to meditate during the day because your mind is already filled with all your doings and all the things that your brain is telling you have to think about and you have to be in action on. When you are just woken up, your momentum is clear and your mind is easier to kind of corral if you are challenged by that, and you have a easier time connecting with, the spiritual, all that is. And so I like to receive my truth from source rather than my surroundings, which can be tainted by my fears and thoughts of others, as I mentioned. So now that I'm done meditating and my alarm's gone off and my eyes are open, before I get out of bed, I generally speak 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. So this morning, I was grateful to wake up before my alarm went off. I was grateful for the beautiful day because I could tell that it was going to be. I was grateful to being connected and to use that connection on behalf of those that need my guidance. I was grateful to be changing my life in remarkable ways. And I am grateful to have a warm, safe bed. And I usually say that in the morning and the night because I like to really put a lot of emphasis on all the wonderful things that I have. So the next thing I do is throughout the day, I really watch my thoughts and I watch what I'm saying to myself and then what I'm feeling about what I'm saying. So I look for feelings of victimization, feelings of self-pity, negative self-talk, or rumination about things that I don't want. And when, not if, I find them, I try to immediately switch my thoughts to focusing on my desires and my gratitude, the things that I love, the things that I want. And if I am really stuck in a fear-based space and I can't seem to do that, then I will just repeat a mantra of things are always working out for me. And use that to kind of wipe that mental slate clean of whatever it is that is kind of repeating in my head. The next thing I do throughout the day is when I get angry or frustrated, I really work on switching my thoughts from whatever the catalyst was of that to the source of it, which is if something that someone says or does that I feel hurt by, well, that's within me. And so I try to ask myself, what in me is feeling attacked or unheard or afraid? And really focus in on what it is that I feel that is being touched, that is making me feel wounded in some way, that I am feeling an aggressive need to respond. The next thing I do is I look for opportunities throughout my day to do something I call connect vertically, which is above to the all that is, the source, my inner being, my higher self, my guides, etc. And as I mentioned, this is where your personal truth lies. So you're not going to get answers to things that you need to know for you from the words of others or the things you see or the things you read. You're going to receive your greatest and highest knowledge from the greatest source, God, whatever it is that you conceive that to be, and your connection to that, all that is. And by the way, I teach the difference between vertical and lateral sourcing in my course. So the next thing I do is I look for opportunities throughout the day to journal. And when I do, I also ask for guidance for any problems or pain that I'm experiencing. And if I'm having any feelings that are on a lower vibrational scale, like fear, anger, disappointment, worry, blame, jealousy, guilt, grief, or depression, it's a wonderful opportunity to just take a few minutes to do the next thing, which is sit in your feelings. Rather than shoving it down and focusing your energy on whatever it is that brought these feelings to your awareness, Focus on the feelings themselves. Allow that you have the awareness. Acknowledge them. Acknowledge that you're mad. Then allow yourself to be mad. And, especially for women, we are really told not to get angry from a very young age. And so sometimes it's really hard for women to accept that they're angry about something and just allow themselves to be. And then the next thing, which I already said, is just accept it. So become aware of it, acknowledge it, allow it, and then accept it. And then once you've done that, you can decide on whatever action is needed. Now, the other thing I do is if I have time in my day where I'm feeling anxious, because I run high energy, then anxiety is something that can slip into my day without me really even noticing. And a lot of the reason that is because I have still a lot of trauma from my past that has not been healed or integrated or released. And sometimes I'm not even aware of it until I'm experiencing anxiety. And I know that that is connected to the energy of that unhealed trauma. So what I do next is I check in with myself to see if I can do a little emotional discovery about what it is within me that is being triggered by whatever it was that I just saw or heard or was thinking. The next thing I do is I pray or ask whatever feels right to you for strength, peace, self-love, healing, whatever it is I need throughout my day. And the reason I do this is it's been my experience over this past 25 years of this journey that the more you connect with your guides, with your higher self, with whatever it is you believe is greater than you, the easier it then becomes to do it. So it's kind of like, we may be asking, but to hear our answers, we're kind of covered in cotton, right? And so the more you are actively connecting, you are vertically sourcing, you are actively asking, the more you start to hear, until you can, like I do, get messages not only for yourself, but for people that you're working with or people that you love. And you can eventually get to the point where I am getting, where you can kind of connect at will. You don't even need to go into a meditative state. You can ask and then you can hear the answer. And it's really exciting to be able to do that. So I do that throughout my day to keep that connection clear. The other thing I do throughout my day is I work on keeping my daily focus on the one person that I can control or be in charge of, and that is myself. So I think of the phrase because it makes me smile. There are only 3 types of business: my business, your business, and spirit's business. Try to mind my own business. So when I am ruminating and going off on a trail of fear and worry for another person, I try to call it back to my business. Now, at bedtime, I really work on releasing or integrating any thoughts that I've been holding on to throughout the day. I really try not to go to sleep still nursing any resentments that I've had or frustrations I have with situations around me or the world at large. Because if you can clear your energetic space before you go into sleep, you will have a much greater chance of connecting during your sleep, receiving messages through your dreams, and waking up feeling clear of that negative momentum and prepared to manifest what you want your new day to bring. Then the next thing I do is I think of 5 to 10 things that I'm grateful for, and I give thanks for them. So I usually start with, I do this like every night. I'm grateful for my bed. I have a purple mattress and I freaking love it. So if you're trying to decide what bed to get, purple. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way, but they're really amazing. So I say that I am grateful to be safe and warm and fed because so many people aren't, right? So I really just take a moment in the gratitude I have for all the abundance of my life that has brought me to a place where I have a beautiful bed and I feel safe when I go to sleep and my belly is full and I can climate control my space. And I think how amazing it is that I am gifted with these things. So I then go on to say something along the lines of, I'm grateful for those that love me, because sometimes I don't know if I'm easy to love. Or maybe I'm easy to love, but not that easy to like. I don't know. If you're watching this and you agree, maybe give me a thumbs up. And I also say that I'm grateful for all those that I love. I usually say something along the lines of that I'm grateful for a healing body, because my body is always healing, and I absolutely believe that. Even if it's in pain right now, it doesn't mean you have to suffer, right? You can actually physically be in pain and not be suffering from it. And so how I do that is I continue to focus on all the things that I love. And then I will usually add on things that whatever were triggered during my day. But again, only if you're feeling it, because it's better not to speak words of gratitude than to do it and not mean it. The next thing I do is I look for chords and I release them. And by this, I mean unintentional or even intentional connections with other people that can drain you of energy. And it's really important to be able to see those in your system and then just gently remove them and send them back to a person with love and light and return your energy to you with love and light. And I teach people how to do that in my course as well, because it's really important. A lot of times we might feel incredibly drained and not know why, but then have the sneaking suspicion that it might have been, the 2-hour conversation we had with that friend who only complained, or the time we had our family over and we're still processing all the challenges we had dealing with the different dynamics. So it can be any number of things. It can be your boss at work, or, that friend who only calls you when they're sad. So releasing cords really helps my energy back to me, your energy back to you. So I do that before I go to sleep as well. And then I ask for everything unhealed in my body, mind, and spirit to be transmuted into love and light, because I know that both ease and dis-ease are symptoms of my balance of thought. And lastly, I meditate, and I do it to the sound of rain. I recommend some sound that you play in the background, a fan, a rainstorm, something that keeps you from hearing any external sounds that might pull you out of your meditation. And I do that anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour or more, just depending on what my system needs. So that's what I have for you today. These are my personal habits of mind, and I wanted to share them with you because, no judgment, but I think we all can sometimes use additional thoughts and additional ideas that can help us really next level our healing, our mental and emotional satisfaction, our feelings of self-love. So these are the things that I've learned and practiced over my life. So let me see now if I can read comments on my phone. And again, no idea why this is on my phone, but Facebook, not loving. Okay, sometimes I'm not clear about what specifically I want to manifest about a situation. Do you suggest, oh, wait, it moved. Do you suggest manifesting clarity about the issue or whatever it is for my greater good? Or is not being clear part of a bigger block I should look at, or both? LOL, that's very cute. Okay, so I often will put a manifestation request out for clarity. Spirit, I desire to know whatever it is that is a block between me and what it is I want to manifest. And I'm willing to look at anything and everything. And I ask that you bring it to me gently. I might say something like that. Or if I'm not clear about what it is I want, there may be because I have a pre-existing belief system about whether or not I can have it, or because I'm unintentionally including someone else. And as we've kind of learned, we can't manifest for other people, right? So you want to be really focused on the fact that this is a manifestation for you. And there may be some belief systems that you have, some habits of your own mind, if you will, that are keeping you from believing that it can be manifested. So it might be good to look at that. But you can always request and pull in clarity. And you also could say something like, I easily welcome whatever it is I need to know to manifest my heart's desire. And I do this every day. Something like that. Karma says I'm the easiest person in the world to love. Oh, easy to like and love. Oh, well, that's sweet. Sue says, thank you so much. I really value and appreciate all this info. Sandra says, hi, I made it. Hi, so good to see you. In so much that I see your tiny little face. Randall said, good suggestions. Could you restate the daily manifestations that you use? Well, as I mentioned, I manifest something different every single morning. So it really is whatever is first in my thoughts as my consciousness is going from a complete release to an awareness. So I try to do it and grab hold of my mind before it starts thinking about, oh, you better check your phone. When's your first appointment? What are you doing today? But for today, it was, I love being healthy in mind and body, because you can't lose with that, right? So you could use that every day. And then I always try to throw something in about abundance, because I was raised in poverty for a lot of my childhood and in my young adulthood. So I know I have a lot of challenges with believing that I am deserving and worthy. I've had, see that I caught myself right there? So I usually try to throw in something like, I'm open and allowing for abundance in all things. Something like that. Or I easily receive. That can work too. And then I might say, things are always working out for me. Or I know today is going to be an incredible day filled with clarity, awareness, and the ability to gift others with exactly what they need. So that is also something that I say in the morning. Okay, super helpful. Thank you. I've been trying to manifest for other people. Oh, see, kind of got the feeling on that. So yeah, can't really do that. What you can do, this is a really good question you didn't ask that I'm going to answer for you. What you can do is you can release the belief systems you hold that see them as less than they are. So for instance, if you want something for someone and you're worried that they just can't do it because of this or because of that, you can release those and just focus on the fact they can do it. And in that way, you are creating a clear energy between you and them, because I'm going to assume it's someone you love, so you may or may not be courted to them. So that's really the best way, is just to get rid of any beliefs you have that they can't be successful. What about when you don't know what you want? That's a great question. Well, here's the thing about life. There's a lot of contrast, right? We have a lot of things that we love, and we have a lot of things that we don't. So if you're not sure what it is you want, well, I'm pretty sure you know what you don't want. So I would pick a topic in your life. And when you think about the things that you don't want, that will often lead you to what you would want instead. So let's say you're in a relationship with your partner and he gets angry and yells a lot. And you don't want that. So you don't like anger and you don't like yelling. So what you might want to manifest in that case is that you are surrounded by peace. Something like that. Jill, I haven't seen your name in a while. It's great to see you. Kate, hi, sweetheart. Roger, love to see you. Maggie, hi, lovely. And Janice says, how do I stop worrying about my adult children? It's a really good one. First off, I just want to acknowledge that it's okay to do it, right? That asking us to not worry about the people that are most important from us, I mean, we actually made them, right? So we're pretty invested in their well-being, is a very challenging thing to do. So I would just like to honor you for acknowledging that this is something you want to shift, because that's kind of the step we have to go through. I'm aware that I really worry about my kids in a way that is not creating more of what it is I want, but instead revisiting what I don't. I acknowledge that I want to believe the best is possible for them, and that's the only energy I ever want to run in my system. I allow that they are here to make their own choices and to learn their own lessons as connected to Creator or God. Thy will not God's, thy will, my will not thy will, saith the Lord, I think is how the quote goes. So I kind of always think of my child as Creator's child first. And so sometimes she's going to do things that in my mind are very worrisome, but I remind myself it's not my life to live. So that is one of the things that I use when I'm working with people that I'm very, very close to, is reminding myself that I don't know what they came here for. And in fact, this reminds me of someone I was working with who I was in love with and in a relationship with, actually. And they were pursuing addiction to the extent that I recognized that our relationship had to end. And at one point when I was working with Spirit, and this was many years ago, I was praying and asking and hoping and really focusing on them and the changes they need to make. And Spirit actually said to me, and I'll never forget this, "Who do you think you are?" It's like, what? Again, I heard, "Who do you think you are?" And I was a little appalled. And I was like, well, I just want the best for them. And then Spirit told me, well, how do you know what is best for another person? And I responded, well, clearly addiction's not best. I mean, look at what's happening in their life. Look at their relationships. Look at this relationship. It's going to have to end. And then Spirit reminded me again, how do you know that they are not here to discover how low they can go? How brave is that? How incredibly strong is that? And it gave me, and I'm really abbreviating something that took quite some time, but it really gave me the ability to shift and recognize that just because something is right for me doesn't make it right for someone else. And that many people may struggle with challenges, addictions, suffering in ways that I would never wish for them, and nonetheless is their experience. So all I really can do is hold space and love and energy that they are going to get their most out of this life, and love them no matter what. And although I broke up with that person, I loved him till he died, which was this year. So it is challenging, but we're only here for us, sweetie. I've never met anyone in my life that was here for someone else. So it looks like that's all the questions for today. So I love you. Thank you for your patience with me. I started late doing Facebook on my phone, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.